try, you'll never know just what you were. Lights will guide you home and ignite your bones, and I will try to fix you.
Makes you sad, doesn't it? You are watching The Dawn Show. We are live and we are local. And if you have a question for my guest today, Master Ron Zohar, the number to call today, he's the founder of Personal Power Martial Arts, by the way, and the author of a brand new book coming out called Nobody Picks on Me. The number live, 866-472-8868. Did you know that every 7 to 8 minutes in America, a child is bullied? You may not realize it, but there could be a child in your life who's being bullied right now, and this causes lifelong scars. So you don't want to go here. Master Ron Zohar, what are some of the techniques that you're teaching kids in your classes so that they're not bullied?
Right. Well, it starts with mindset. You want to bully-proof the kids by letting them know that when the bullying is verbal or emotional type bullying, that they don't have to take it personally. And it's easier said than done, but it's really kind of getting them to think about, if somebody is calling me names, do I have to be offended? I'll tell you a quick story. I had this is an older child. Of course, you have to be age appropriate with the techniques that you choose, but I had a young girl, about 12 years old, and she came to me almost in tears, one of my students. She said, this other girl on the school bus was being so mean, and she's calling me stupid and ugly, and you could tell she really took it personally. And I looked at her and I said, oh, really? She said, you're stupid. And I pointed to her, and she said, yes, can you believe it? I said, well, no, that's horrible. Did you say you're ugly? She said, yes. I said, you're stupid and you're ugly. She said, yes, she said that. I said, well, I just said it 3 times, and you didn't seem to mind then. How come? And she looked and she goes, well, you didn't mean it. I said, well, what do you care if I meant it or not? What do you care if this other girl meant it or not? And you could see the light bulb going over her head, kind of like, you know what, it is just words. We hear all the time, sticks and stones can break my bones, or can't. And, I think lately there's been a lot of noise over, well, words can really be hurtful. They can, but only if you let them hurt you. Exactly.
I want to show some video from your class that you teach this back off method and why that. So here it is. Here you are in class. So why is this important?
Okay, what you're seeing here is we're teaching kids, first of all, to use their body language correctly. So you want to put your hands up. You want to clearly signal that you're putting up a barrier. You're also showing the biggest factor is to show the bully that you're not scared and you're not getting emotional about what they're saying or what they're doing. Bullies look for easy victims. They're not looking for a challenge. They're not looking for a fight. So if you can communicate through your body language, your eye contact, your tone of voice, your words are actually the least important, that's going to discourage them. Now, here we're showing, this is Jolie showing, the picture we're looking at right now is the perfect way to do it. She's got her hands up. She's got a very serious face. She's not showing any emotion.
It's like, don't mess with me look.
Exactly. Now, in this one, she's being overly aggressive. That's not good. That could cause a bully to strike out. And the first one that we saw where she was hiding, that's a good example. A lot of the kids, when they first start, they'll do that because even though they say, okay, I'll put my hands up and I'll say back off, it comes off very meek, and obviously that's not going to work. And the way we drill this, it's not enough to teach a child by saying, this is what you do. We have to drill it over and over again. There's another example of meek body language with Daniel covering up and his big brother, Jake, is being the bully. But the way to really program it into the kids is to role play. And parents can role play it with their kids. Obviously in our classes we do it over and over again. Here's a great example of Daniel doing it correctly. Because what's going to happen when a child is confronted by a bully, they're going to be scared. There's going to be that adrenaline pumping. They're going to be confused and shocked sometimes and panic. And everything that you say to them will probably go out the window. On the other hand, if they practiced over and over again, as soon as that situation happens, it's just going to trigger an automatic response, a trained response, and they're going to do the right thing and say the right thing. And the nice thing about it, when it's done correctly, it has a 95% effectiveness in deterring a bully, whether they're bigger and meaner. If you just show them with your body language, with your eye contact, and with your right kind of voice, that you're not intimidated, you're not scared, you're not being affected emotionally by what they're saying, they're going to pick somebody else.
Okay. And I think part of this is, too, life skills. In other words, the guy who grows up to, we see in the news, again, people who are more likely to commit violence, or the boss who's just an unbearable jerk. They were probably bullies or bullied.
Well, that's right. And, a lot of times with the attention that bullying is getting in the media, it focuses on school-age kids, whether it's elementary school and mostly high school, because that's when we see the most tragic consequences usually. And usually those kids who end up committing suicide or acting out and acting out in violent ways against other kids, like we saw in Columbine, I kind of think was the game changer where it started this.
Everybody realized this is serious stuff.
Exactly. Most of these kids have been bullied from a young age. Yeah. So it's not one or two incidents, and it's really tragic for them because, you're going through years of suffering. And we see it. I have kids that come to me being bullied, even at 4 and 5 year olds. Now it's a very subtle form, but if they're playing at their preschool and a child walks over and grabs the toy from them and walks away, that's something that you want your child to know how to deal with even at that age.
Yeah, you don't want your kid to be the bully or the victim because that can carry through life. More with Master Ron Zohar and his techniques and your calls when we come right back.